Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how to find out your limiting beliefs, and even the most successful people in the world have limiting beliefs in some areas of their lives. So don't beat yourself up if you've got doubts about yourself from time to time, or near enough all the time, or any point in between those kind of things. Instead, take a few minutes to find out and identify the beliefs that are holding you back, and then swap those limiting beliefs for ones that are more constructive. And it can actually be as simple as that. We'll find out as we go through. Quite often our limiting beliefs just masquerade as truths. So if you've ever said, I can't do that, that's a limiting belief. Okay, there are a few things where you really can't do that given current technology. You can't defy gravity, survive in outer space without a spacesuit, that kind of thing. But most of the time, our limiting beliefs are much more mundane, and nevertheless, they're holding us back in life. So start by noticing all those times when you think you can't do something, or when you do your level best to avoid encountering something in the first place. And those situations don't have to be big or challenging. Often it's the small things that hold us back because they crop up so much more often. So whether it's as simple as not liking eating green vegetables, and yeah, I'm guilty as charged on that one, not being able to get your mobile phone to do all those flashy things the adverts said you could, and technophobia is very common, but that can be a big limiting belief now we're surrounded by technology, or anything else that puts limitations around you. Start by noticing when those things happen, especially if you use the answer because in it. Because is a powerful word. If you want some more information, read Influence by Robert Cialdini. But the executive summary is that we use it as a shortcut. We assume that whatever follows the word because follows it as a valid reason. And Cialdini's got some quite fun examples of why it isn't. Because it just isn't the case. In fact, because the word is so powerful, we just stop listening and just assume that whatever follows it is valid. Yikes. And that's where so many of our limiting beliefs are hiding in plain sight. They're there. We're just not looking for them because we've used the word because to hide them. Because we just assume that we've got a valid reason. Those words we keep repeating after using that B word. And yeah, I'm using because a lot in this slides because it helps make the point. But the difference is I'm using it deliberately rather than on autopilot, and that makes a big difference. Make yourself alert to all the times you use an excuse because of whatever. Put them in a note somewhere on a pad, a post-it note on your computer or phone, wherever is most convenient. Partly because even just realizing them and making a note of them brings them into plain sight a lot more. Then question that reason. And often it's as simple as asking the question, why? And that might sound childlike, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work. Why is a really powerful word, especially when you answer it back. So when you ask yourself why, answer the question. And that can't just be, I don't know. Sometimes you'll get to the root of the limiting belief in one or two questioning sessions or rounds of asking why to the answer and then why to the answer of that and so on. Because you'll be asking yourself why to each answer you give. Sometimes it takes longer, lots and lots and lots of whys until you really get bored with it. It can be sort of 10, 20 even. And maybe it'll take more than one session, but that's not often. But all the while you're chipping away at the power the limiting belief has over you, or had over you. And if you're still not sure this will work, and that's a limiting belief in its own right, test it on something simple and near enough inconsequential. Something like a limiting belief you can't start a post on Facebook because what would other people think of you? Or anything else that as soon as you think about it for more than a second or two, you just start laughing at yourself and how silly it is and why that's holding you back and limiting you. And quite often just that laughter is also a nice breakdown of it, and that can destroy simple limiting beliefs quite successfully. Take the mickey out of them, laugh at them, enjoy that. Do that a few times and your limiting belief that you can't change your limiting beliefs, and that is a limiting belief in itself, will start to change. Probably it'll start slowly at first because you've held on to these beliefs for longer than you'd care to admit, so don't be surprised if at least some of them are reluctant to leave you alone. But I think you'll be surprised at just how fast limiting beliefs can change. The thing is, we're actually hardwired to learn fast. It's kept our species alive for thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. It wasn't in our best survival interest to take too long to figure out that that nice-looking saber-toothed tiger wasn't as cuddly as a pussycat. But those beliefs can be changed almost at the flick of a switch. It's not something your average shrink will tell you because it's not in their best interest to do that. They'd much rather have lots and lots of sessions. But beliefs are perfectly capable of changing as fast as you want them to. And incidentally, if you'd like to pursue that thought further, check out something called the NLP Rewind technique. It's a super fast way to changing beliefs like fears and phobias that are holding you back in your life. But there are also plenty of other ways to change the thoughts and beliefs that are stopping you from reaching your full potential. Personally, I like to use hypnosis or subliminal messages to push my limiting beliefs out of the way. If you'd like to do the same, check the link below this video for a hypnosis track that you play to basically stop your limiting beliefs from stopping you. It's quick, simple, and really, really effective because it gets deep into your mind and helps you change without any real effort on your part. So give it a try. It's cheap and it works. Click the link below and get rid of those limiting beliefs, including the one that says I can't change them. Go for it.